What's up, webheads? It's Nico2064. One of my favorite things in Fortnite is making Marvel combos, so today we're going to look at all of my Marvel combos in Fortnite. I also hit a V-Bucks code in this video, so you'll have to race to find out who can get it first. So, let's get into this. Starting with my main skin, Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm using the Radar Senses back bling, which works perfectly for Spidey Sense, and has the red color to boot. The pickaxe is Dumbbell Driver, to go with the colors and represent his super strength. The glider is Scarlet Longboard, which has a really cool animation and the colors we need. Then I'm using the Widow's Web wrap, which looks so perfect on him you'd think it was made for him. Next for Spider-Man, I'm using his Future Foundation style. In the comics, he gets this suit from Reed Richards, so it's going to be a great skin to wear next season. I'm using the Tendrils of Venom back bling, since the suit reminds me of the Anti-Venom suit from Spider-Man 2, and it matches the grayish black on the suit. The pickaxes are the dive knives, and these are a pretty safe choice, but I like how they bring out the darker parts of the suit. The glider is the articulated blade wing with the high altitude style, which feels like something that Reed could have built for him. Then I'm using the weathered black wrap, which matches the rest of the combo really nicely. Next for Iron Spider, I'm using the WWE Championship title back bling. This shade of gold is somewhat difficult to match, but I think this does the job. I also like it because Spider-Man's first fight was in a wrestling match, so this has the theme for it too. Then I'm using the Staff of Control pickaxe, which has all the same colors we need, and serves as a reference to the Insomniac games. Now, the glider isn't crazy, but I'm using the Jingle Wing. I really don't have a lot of gold and red gliders that aren't same set with the rest of the combo, so this is kind of the best I could do. Maybe you could stretch that we got Spider-Man for Christmas in 2021, but that's a big stretch. The wrap I'm using is Primate Space Program, and this might be the best part of the combo. The colors are spot on, and I remember thinking how good this would look on Iron Man when it first came out, and naturally it looks just as good on Iron Spider. Next up is Mysterio, and for him I've got the Solid Skull back bling on. This is the closest match I could find for that gold of his, and it actually goes with the skull style of the helmet. Then I'm using the Tribute's Flail pickaxe, which is a reference to MJ's flail in Far From Home, which she used to defeat Mysterio's drone. In addition to that, I think it ties in the gold and the spikes from the back bling, so it just ties everything together for the combo. For the glider, I'm using the Resbrella, and I know this doesn't match his colors at all, but I think it's a really cool reference to the illusions coming apart in Far From Home, with the pixelated blue graphics. Then I'm using the Golden Ascension wrap, which has both the gold and foggy green glow that matches his powers, so I really love this on him. Finally, we have Black Cat, and for her, I'm using the Lil Blackheart back bling, which is basically just a better version of the one she came with, in my opinion. The pickaxe is the Stygian Parasol, which I think matches the vibes of her outfit, and I don't get to use it that often. I have the Polysynth Kite for the glider, and I know this isn't that interesting of a glider, but it has the colors we need, and it's a little harder to find that than you'd expect. I'm using the Web Slinger wrap to match the white, and of course the theme of Spider-Man. Next for Miles Morales, I'm using the Radar Senses back bling. I usually use this when I don't think the skin should use a back bling, but it actually matches Miles' colors and theme, as a reference to Spidey Sense. The pickaxe I'm using is A-Crown, which I thought matches his eyes really nicely, and it's one of my favorite pickaxes in the game, so I just kind of wanted to use it. I'm using the Mighty Marvelbrella for the glider, and this is just a simple color match with the Marvel theme to support it. I think it's good on every Marvel skin to a degree, but it works pretty well here because the colors match. The wrap is Blasted, and this looks absolutely perfect on him. It's got the same exact red color and the Bandai dots to match the outfit, so it looks like it was made for him. Next up is Spider-Gwen, and for her I'm using the Rift Ribbon back bling. I wanted to add some pink into the combo to match the accents on the outfit, and this one has the theme of dimensions and teleportation, if you squint. I'm using the Birthday Basher pickaxe to go with the pink and blue on her arms. And this was a free reward, so most of you should have it if you played at the time. The glider is Bubloon to go with the pickaxe, as another sweet pink food. And in my opinion, I feel like Gwen Stacy is the kind of person to chew bubblegum. Lastly, I have the Cuddle Mech wrap on, And this just ties together all the colors and has some little details to give the same vibes as Gwen. For Peter B. Parker, I'm using the chair back bling. I love how the cushion is the exact same pink as the robe, and the theme works for an overworked parent who needs some rest. The pickaxes I'm using are the drummies, which match the chair back bling quite nicely, and the steamy trail makes it feel like comfort food, which matches the theme in my opinion. I'm using the cuddly cloud cruiser glider, which goes perfectly with his robe. Also, the bear theme could work as a reference to his daughter and her toys. Then I've got the danger donut wrap on, which has the pink from the robe and the tan color from the exposed part of the chicken wing. This also goes with the drummies to create a little food theme, so I kind of like that. For Spider-Man Noir, I'm using the hollow back bling with the ace emoticon in it. This was chosen to match the cel-shaded black and white on the skin, which is kind of uncommon for back blings. The pickaxe is Stringles, to again match the black and white on the outfit. I like how this one resembles early cartoon characters, so it matches the noir time period. I'm using the Bat Glider for the glider, since I couldn't find a cel-shaded black glider without using same set cosmetics. But at least Batman's a detective, so it matches the theme of the character. The wrap is Stealth Black, which is a simple but effective wrap. I'd say that Boogeyman works just as good, if not better, but I don't have that wrap myself. Either way, you just need something with black, white, and no other colors. For Spider-Punk, I'm using the chain cape back bling, and I'm extremely happy with how this looks. It looks perfect on the skin, and it really feels like part of the outfit, so I'm just so excited that I found this. The pickaxe is Mikey's nunchucks, and I think this looks pretty good on him. I prefer matching the black and silver on this combo, since the red on the outfit changes colors when you heal or take damage in game. And with that in mind, I think this is probably the coolest pickaxe with black and silver incorporated. Then I'm using the Beskar Umbrella Glider, which is a nice clean umbrella with the colors we need. Also, the Mythosaur skull kind of reminds me of an album cover, since they usually have skulls on them. The wrap is Noxious, which matches the rest of the combo, and has a little bit of white to match his eyes. Finally, for Spider-Man 2099, I'm using the Remnant Blossom back bling. This is a really strong color match, and it came out in the same season as the skin, so I quite like it on him. The pickaxe is Omnisword, which resembles the scallops on his arms, and the advanced technology he has in the franchise. Then I'm using the custom cruiser glider with a blue Spider-Man banner. This one isn't the greatest, but I really didn't have any options for him. Feel free to comment below any suggestions you have, because I did not see anything that strong. The wrap I'm using is Kabang, and I love this for him. The red and blue are spot on, and it even has the glossy texture of a spandex Spider-Man suit, so it looks absolutely perfect. Next for Venom, I'm using the Mini Moon back bling. This matches the color of this Venom, who's more gray than black, and it works as a reference to their home planet of Clintar. Then for the pickaxe, I'm using the Reliant blades with the Reliant Edge style. I think this looks really cool on him, and there's a little bit of red that ties in with the other parts of the combo. One of those being the glider, which is the Sentinel. The design of this kind of reminds me of the Xenophages in the new movie, and it has the metallic gray and red to go with the pickaxe. Then I'm using the Hunter's Arsenal wrap, which goes perfectly with the glider and the pickaxe, bringing in a little bit of red into the combo. Next for Carnage, I'm using the Duffel Dog back bling, since the sausage has the exact same color of red as his skin. I know that's kind of weird when you think about it, but it looks absolutely perfect on him. The pickaxe I'm using is Old Woody, which matches the tan color on the back bling, and works for the theme, as some broken boards that would have been destroyed in a battle. The glider is Cacodemon, again because it matches the fleshy color of Carnage. It also kind of resembles an alien, so I think it's a nice one to use on him. The wrap I'm using is Battle Barn, which is a very close shade of red, and probably the best you're going to get without having other colors on it. Now we have Agony, and for her I'm using the Broken Fractal Wings back bling. These look really cool because they kind of look like they're formed by a symbiote, with little black tendrils all over them. Then I have the Epitaph Edge for the pickaxe. This has a very good color scheme for what we're looking for, and it kind of looks like the built-in blade pickaxes that come with the symbiotes. Then I'm using the Cube Cruiser Glider, which actually does look a lot like the purples found within the skin. And it was the cubed season where we first got Eddie, Brock, and Carnage with their mythics, so it's kind of a neat little reference. The wrap I'm using is Murktide, which has the slimy texture to match the skin, and the brighter parts tie into the color of the back bling. Lastly, for She-Venom, I'm using the Seph back bling as a reference to all the venomized animals in Venom: The Last Dance. Then I'm using the Necrosword's pickaxe. The Necrosword is the name of Null's pickaxe in the comics, and with him being in the new movie, I thought it was a fitting choice. The glider I'm using is the HK Ariel, which is a reference to the military dropships that they use in the movie to track down Eddie and Venom. The wrap I'm using is Stealth Black, and you could use some other wraps, but this one has the solid black color we need, and has some little bolts and plates on it, which kind of tie into the texture of the glider. Next, for Daredevil, I'm using Pokepack for the back bling, since it has some of the red, and it's something he would fight against. The pickaxe is Raph's Sai, which works as a reference to Elektra, and ties in the silver from the back bling. The glider is Blade Raven, which has the red and silver, and the theme of weapons. Then I'm using the Doomed Echo wrap. The black wrapping on this reminds me of his starter suit from the show, and it has the metallic red to match his suit. Next, for Deadpool, I'm using the Legends mod kit back bling with the duotone style, and I love how it matches the red and black color scheme while also containing a bunch of guns and knives, which are very on brand for Deadpool. Then I'm using the Summoned Katana pickaxe from Mr. Meeseeks, and this is a perfect substitute for his katanas. Not only is it the same type of sword, but it actually ties in the gray from the back bling too. I'm really happy with this find. Next, I'm using the Skelefish for the glider. There wasn't really a great cel-shaded glider to use on him, so I chose this one as a reference to the Ant-Man skull that Cassandra Nova built her compound in. The wrap I'm using is Blasted, which is a cel-shaded red wrap. This matches the skin so perfectly that I knew I wanted to use it on him right when he got leaked. Now, since I'm only doing 2 combos in this video, I thought I could go even further in depth by making combos for the Trail and Aura. So, I'm using the Reality Graph Contrail on Deadpool as a reference to the matter and antimatter tanks that he and Wolverine had to take down. Then I have the Dynamic Dots Aura on, which is a 10 out of 10 combo on any comic book skin. I think it works especially well here, since these skins actually have the comic art style, so I fully recommend using it on them. I would also like to suggest playing X Gonna Give It To You with the new instruments, since the song was featured in the first 2 Deadpool movies, and it's one of my favorite songs to play in the mode, period. Now, for Wolverine. I'm using the All Might collectible back bling, which matches his color scheme pretty well, but it also kind of reminds me of the Logan toy that Wade had in Deadpool 2. The pickaxe is Kukasaki's hammer, which ties together the red from the back bling and the tiny bit on his belt buckle. Then I'm using the MCG glider with the Wolverine style. I don't see many people talk about this glider, but it's actually really cool. It also shows that you own the original Wolverine, in addition to the new skin. Then I've got the iconically Invincible wrap on, and this actually has all of the same colors as the skin. They might be a little off at times, depending on the lighting, but I think it's a perfect wrap to use on him. I'm using the Sky Scratch Contrail, and I absolutely love this on him. It matches this version of Wolverine better than the others because of how the scratching effect is animated. Now we have the Battle Pass Wolverine, and for him I'm using the Logan style with the Ranker's Tag back bling. If you manage to reach Silver Rank in Fortnite OG, this style goes perfectly with the dog tags around his neck. The pickaxe I'm using is the Slasher from Fortnitemares. I usually prefer the built-in claws when I'm using Wolverine, but this is what I use before doing the built-in emote. The glider I'm using is the Chromebrella from Chapter 3 Season 4, and this is in reference to when Magneto pulls the adamantium out of his body in X-Men 97. I decided to use the SOS wrap, since I think it matches the theme of the style pretty well, even if the colors aren't a perfect match. Next is Captain Marvel, and for her I'm using the Empowered style with the Oro Soul back bling. We don't really have anything to go with her suit colors, but I think it matches her powers pretty well. The pickaxe I'm using is Sparkle Axe, since it has the red and gold that we're looking for, as well as the yellow sparkles at the top. I don't actually own this glider, but the Shimmy Surfer matches the yellow glow pretty well, so I think that's the best one to use if you don't want to use her built-in glider. I have the Golden Clouds wrap on, which matches the gold and the red on the pickaxe and the skin. So that's all for her. Now on to the next one.
Next for Captain America, I'm using the Hero Half Shell back bling. For years I had no good combo for Captain America, but this actually looks really good on him. The brown matches his straps, and you can either use the red or blue ribbon to match his suit. Also, the shell on his back kind of feels like the shield normally would, so it feels good on the skin. The pickaxe is Plunger Man's plungers, and I know this is a pretty weird choice, but it's one of the best matches I could find. The red is exactly the same as the gloves, and the brown goes with the rest of the combo. Then I'm using the Crossfire glider. This has the exact same red and brown as the other cosmetics, and it even looks like the same material as his straps. The wrap is Rogue Archaeology, and this ties together the brown throughout the combo. If you wanted to cheat, the Shield and Stripes wrap from Captain Jones technically isn't the same set, but I really like how this looks on him. Next for Sam Wilson, I'm using the Spider Drone back bling. This has the red, silver, and blue from the outfit, and references when he fought Spider-Man in Civil War. The pickaxe is handheld missile to go with his colors, and since he had to stop a lot of missiles in the movie. Then I'm using the Bombs Away glider on him. This matches the theme of the pickaxe, and this style has the right colors for him. The wrap I'm using is Shooting Shuffle. This has the exact same red as the suit, and the excess of white makes it match really well. Next for Captain Jones, I'm using the Penguin back bling. This matches the silver on his suit, and has the theme of the Arctic Ocean. The pickaxe is Frozone's shield, and this might be my proudest find in the entire video. It resembles the Captain America shield, has the silver to match his suit, and the ice works as a reference to Cap being frozen for 66 years. If you like to use any Captain America skin and don't have this pickaxe, I strongly recommend buying it. The glider I'm using is HK Aerial. I thought this looked like a budget Quinjet, and the silver pairs really nicely with the rest of the combo. The wrap is Pulse Phase, which matches the silver on his suit, and the glowing blue from the ice on his pickaxe. Also, Captain America has fought aliens, so the theme checks out too. Next for Silver Surfer,
I'm using the Penguin back bling from the Monopoly set, since that matches his silver, and I chose the Penguin because he freezes the pyramids in the original Fantastic Four movie. The pickaxes are the mimetic polyalloy blades from the last wave of Terminator cosmetics, and these look really nice on him. I think they match his vibe, and they have the same shade of silver. Then I'm using the Chromestruck Flyer Glider, since I didn't want to use the board, and I just feel like these have the mysterious qualities that the Silver Surfer has, and I think the Chromebrella would just be too boring. Lastly, I have the Chrome Flow wrap on, and this is really the best option. If you didn't know, he originally had a wrap that was scrapped before he came to shop, so this is our only fully silver wrap in the game now. Following the trend of Fantastic Four characters, the next one is Doctor Doom. For him, I'm using the Cobra Coin back bling, which matches the metal on his arms and face really well. The pickaxe is Winter's Onslaught with green emissives on. I think this looks great on him, with the green energy that matches his powers. Then I've got the Magnetic Steps glider on, and even though it's made for Magneto, I really like how Doom looks marching down the stairs. I'm using the Pip Bling wrap to tie in that green from the pickaxe, as well as match the metal color on the rest of the combo.
Lastly, for Doom, I'm using the Sun Sign back bling. It has all the colors, and the design of it kind of reminds me of his armor. Then for the pickaxe, I'm using the Vault Guardian. I was blown away when I found this because it has exactly the same pearl white color and the gold that he has on the armor. So this is just too perfect. The glider is Commander's Descent, and I really like how this plays off the other Doom combo I made, with the stairs glider on both of them. Plus the colors are there, and there aren't too many gliders with white and gold, so everything here checks out. Then lastly for the wrap, I'm using Greed. This isn't too fancy, but I wanted to use something simple to play off of the gold highlights on his armor. So hopefully you enjoyed all my combos. I really love making these, especially when they turn out really well. So there will definitely be a part 2 to this with a lot more combos. If you want, you can suggest some in the comments, even though, as you can tell, I kind of segment my videos into themes. But I always keep them in mind, and I'm trying to make combos for some of the ones you've requested. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the V-Bucks if you ended up winning, and I'll see you in the next one. Later, bots!